we have a pretty good music school here and stuff. I mean, in Iceland's a pretty open country. What have you heard about Iceland? What do you think you know about Iceland? Would you ever visit Iceland?
I would visit Iceland. I mean, I think what I hear is that it's very progressive in a sort of matriarchal way.
Yes.
So women, I've heard, seem to run Iceland.
My wife runs my house.
So I kind of like that because, you know, I think all these places where men try to be in charge, they just sort of screw it up. So yeah. I think let the women run the place. Let them tell us what to do in a nice way. Of course, it's always nice to be looked after that way. So I would like to come. I've heard the art scene is really, really good.
The art scene's good.
A visual artist, Ronnie Horn, who I know has a water library in Iceland.
Nice.
I think some of my compadres visited Iceland a few years ago.
I bought the Stranglers here. I bought the Stranglers. Well, it was actually Hugh Cornwall, but he did all the Stranglers songs. I mean, I know Hugh. I knew all the band, and a few years ago, and they were very big here. They played here back in '77, and there was a punk scene, and of course there was the Sugar Cubes and a few other bands, and Monsters of Men that have come out of Iceland since then. What was it like? I have to ask this because I was a big Roxy Music fan, and Brian Eno was such an innovator with the tapes and before Moogs and before Fairlights and before all the synthesizers. Brian Eno, what was it like working with Brian Eno?
Well, Brian is a wise and generous man, and I think for us, I mean, he was the generation ahead of us, and you know, he didn't. Everybody imagines that Brian is full of pretensions, but actually, he's not full of pretensions. He's just very industrious. He likes to get up early and get in the studio and create, and that's really what he lives for. He was a wonderful teacher. Well, he was a wonderful professor for us, and you know, we grew up in that post-punk, post-glam era, and at the time, I think when U2 was starting out, punk was very much of the discipline that if you were into this, you couldn't be into that, and you know, it was very sort of dogmatic in that sense. But I think we never really felt that way. I mean, we had grown up through the era of glam, then disco, then punk, and we were interested in all kinds of things. And Brian is that person. He loves all kinds of music, and he would bring that to us.
When you guys write a song, like One or New Year's Day, or pick any song of U2, I mean, how do you work together as you write? Is it like Edge comes in with a bit, or Bono has a bit of a vocal, and they don't tell you what to play. You say, I'm going to play this. I mean, how do you sort of keep it?
Well, you know, in probably up until the Acton Baby album, we would, you know, spend a lot of time in rehearsal, and you know, we would. I wouldn't say jam for hours, but you know, we'd play a tune for 30, 40 minutes, and you would find the bit of that tune that was really working.
Nice. I like it. I like it.
You'd find 12 bars or 16 bars or something, and you say, okay, that's the bit we want, and that's right. What would be the verse or a chorus or something. And once you had that, you had the DNA of what the rest of the song was going to be about. So that was how the parts came together. You know, if I was hitting a groove with Larry, like on Mysterious Ways or New Year's Day, for me, I always say it's Larry's kick drum that tells me what to do. If I listen to his kick, then I know what I'm going to play.
What's the secret of you two staying together this long? Because it's like a marriage to me. Being in a band that long is like being in a marriage. And it can be a bumpy road, and we've taken breaks, and I know you guys have taken breaks, but what motivates you to still keep doing it? And it's because you wanted, I know you're all friends, you went to school together, but what's the secret behind that?
I think it requires respect for each other. And
Absolutely.
when that respect is threatened, it requires tolerance.
Right.
And I think you
and
kind of
compromise.
you operate between those two or three things all the time. And I think, I mean, there's a little bit of horse sense as well. When you realize how talented and capable your friends and comrades are, the option of changing horses isn't really there.
Yes, agreed.
They're the best players I'm ever going to be playing with. So I'm not going to be finding any more like that.
No, I totally agree. I mean, and look at what you've done, 14 albums, and you're still making music. I mean, have you got some stuff in the pipeline? Have you been writing recently or working with the guys? Or
yeah, I mean,
can you say that? I mean, I don't know.
I can say, we've been industrious, but
Okay.
I don't really know what we're going to do with it. But certainly the model for music at the moment is very, very challenged, and I think we're in a period of transition. And I look at the younger artists. I don't always understand, the music. I have to be honest about that. But obviously, millions of people do. Yeah. But you're a streaming artist. You have to do other things, and I don't think you two are going to be doing those other things. I guess in our day, and when you was releasing records, the life of the record was much longer. You would release the record and then you would tour and take it. Being a musician meant you went on the road. You took the music to your audience.
God, believe me, I know that. Yeah,
that's not how it works anymore.
I know.
You stream. The lifespan of the music is much shorter. And I think people won't be doing tours of a year long. I think people will be doing tours of 3 months, and it'll all be online.